Hello everybody, it's Compound Interest Stock Guy. Today in this video we're going to be doing US 30, that's pretty much the Dow, and we're going to be doing one psychedelic stock and one cannabis stock that are, kind of relatively new. I'm not saying they're necessarily a buy exactly right now, but I do think they do go higher in time. US 30 is just shooting up. Whoa. So I just want to share. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, give me a like. I do truly appreciate it. And leave a comment down below. Anything you want to know, you want to talk about, it's cool. I want to give a shout out to Five Finger Lid. He was talking about Mara. That stock is I think it's in crypto I believe, and it was a very big hot stock. So congrats to Five Finger Lid. He made some money on Mara. That's did very good. It gapped up, so I didn't enter. I like to be relatively conservative as far as like my approach. I want to see it dip and stuff like that before I want to buy, but sometimes I'll maybe pull the trigger. But as far as like if it gapped up a lot, that's not really my style to just like jump in. But at certain times, with educators that I trade with, I remember when US 30 gapped up to 29,000, like 660 or something like that, like 100 points on Sunday. That was a good buy, and we took it to 30,000, and then so there's definitely ways that it can work, but as far as stocks go, it's not really my prerogative. But anyways, let's get into this. So I've been pretty busy. I'm out in Vancouver Island now. I'm just looking for a place. I applied for a place in one of these small islands so I can just kind of hide out as the world kind of crumbles as far as it goes, in my opinion, and the whole world's kind of crumbling. But of course they are, there's going to be close to $1 trillion in debt expansion. I recommend watching Greg Manarino. He keeps me on top of all that information. And there's other great YouTubers. I've said to watch Dave Modell. And so let's get into this. So we're going to talk about Turning Point Brands. Okay, so Turning Point Brands is a pretty big company. It's a pretty big company. It's we'll look at it later, but we'll look at the charts for now. So for the charts, this is Turning Point Brands, and they're about 30 million shares out. It says their market cap's about 800 million. And they're pretty new to the market, but I think this is when they kind of IPO'd there. Let's look weekly. So you see how this crosses. These are different exponential moving averages that I follow and track, and if the red's on top, then that's a selling signal when it crosses. And so that I arrow, that would be your sell area. I also got the Fibonacci on here too. See, it's in a zone right now, about 36.19 to about $41. So once it gets out of that zone, it'll be in a new zone from $41 to about 58. So so it's still in the zone. So kind of want to wait till it gets to the next zone to buy. Or else it could go back below, right? It's kind of curling, so it could go into a sell, but I do really like this company. I looked into them last night, and as far as companies go in cannabis, this is a pretty good company. They're also doing a dividend of 5 cents dividend. I think it could be quarterly. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. So quarterly dividend. And so they also have like zigzags, and the dosist vape pens that companies. I'm not sure if Afria has a deal with them, but I know that company sells dosist in the Canadian rec market. So the Canadian rec market has actually been booming now. Like it's like 250 million a month. So for all the naysayers saying like, oh, the Canadian market is so small, it's actually becoming pretty significant, because if you think about it, the alcohol market is about 18 billion, And 2 years in, we're getting close to about 3 billion. So, in 2 to 3 years, who's to say we're not going to be at $5 to $7 billion? So that's getting up to like 30% of the alcohol sales. And when you look at companies like Constellation Brands that now they own Canopy, but there's big companies like Diageo and like Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch. So these are big companies. I'm not sure exactly the market cap. I may look at that later if I get time. But so then you look at this right here. It crossed here right now. That right around there, that would be a great buying opportunity. This is a shorter term time frame EMAs, so you can catch the trend a lot quicker than say like a 50 or 200 EMA. So this is what I've been using for. I just started to kind of add it to my stocks, but I've been using it for indices. I'm learning from the best indices traders. So if you want to learn with me and join the academy, like let me know. We're trading gold, we're trading currencies, but we're trading indices. And indices is where it's at. You can make your trade really quick when you get a significant amount of money in your account. Like 1%, 2% trades. It's good. You're making good money on the day. So essentially that's what's at. But you look at this buy area, and then it came all the way down to about $22, and now it's double the price. So essentially, I don't know where this is going to go, but I do know they got added to the cannabis ranking list. Let's look at that. Push and pull. So you see this company right here, Turning Point Brands, 36 million, 16.8 in adjusted operational income. So that's pretty much one of the top companies for adjusted operation. You got Trulieve, Scott's Miracle-Gro, which is $1 billion. I don't know. They're probably at 10 billion right now, but Trulieve's catching behind. They're about close to 4 billion. But look at that adjusted operational income, and GTI's crushing it, Cresco's crushing it, IPR's crushing it, Turning Point Brands, ARY Strategies is crushing it, Grow Generations, they're crushing it, but not as good. Planet 13's kind of crushing it, Village Farms kind of crushing it, MariMed's crushing it, but this is significant. So their Ebitda levels for 2020 are actually, I looked at it last night on their investor presentation, it's about 80 million, I think 80 to 100 million in adjusted in Ebitda for 2020. So, and they're talking about 370 to 400 million. So yeah, it was a weird, looking at this revenue, quarterly sales 36, but I guess this is just because it's cannabis and they do other stuff outside of cannabis that I think, so that's probably why it's only 36 million for it. It's like Village Farms makes a lot more than 17 million, but in cannabis sales it's only 17 million, so that's all they count. Like same with Scott's Miracle-Gro, they make a lot more than 350 million a quarter. So yeah, that's pretty much what's up. I think the last quarter I was looking at was like 100 million for the quarter, and so yeah, it's a pretty big company. Can't remember their cash position, but it didn't seem worrisome at all. I think it was somewhere like anywhere from like 70 to 100 million in cash. It wasn't huge, substantial, but they weren't needing cash. And I like the fact that they're on the NYSE and they got a low share count. So essentially they could pump it to like $30 and then issue out 20 million shares and get 600 million, right? Like that's where they're at probably. Whether they do that or not, I mean, if they need to do that, but even 10 million, they could add like 300 million to their cash position. So essentially I think that's probably where they're at, where if they needed the cash they could do that on the NYSE. I think they have that leverage that they could do that. So I do like them. I think they are going to be a legendary company in the cannabis space. I mean, they just came out, but when I looked at this, I can't remember the numbers, but the numbers for all these top companies is a lot higher than it used to be. When you add up Cresco Labs, I mean, Cresco Lab was doing like 35 million. Now they're at 155. So essentially, and then you look at companies in Canada, Canopy 135, Aurora's gone down, Afria's, they're doing good, 62, TerraSen 51, but that's a lot of those sales are USA, so they're not crushing it in Canada, but they're still a big dog. Their adjusted operational income pretty significant, 9.6. Fire and Flower 28. I mean, Fire and Flower is selling a lot in their stores. I guess they got a lot more stores than they used to have. And Hexo's closer to 30 million. Hexo's been on a pump. And High Tide 23 million, like 2.1. I do own shares of High Tide. I do have a position with Hexo in the warrants. I do have a position with Zenabis, and I do have a position with Valence. So those are the kind of companies, I'd consider on a dip potentially getting a Canopy Growth call option. But yeah, that's pretty much the cannabis sector, what's going on. I mean, you got Tilt Holdings doing 40 million. I'm positioned with them. Kushco position with them. Marimid position with them. Village Farms position. True Leaf position. I'd love to have a position with Green Thumbs, Cresco, and Turning Point Brands and Grow Generation. But Grow Generation is expensive now, like 35. I own that company at like 340, and I sold it at 470. So yeah, I kind of kicked myself, but hey, that's life. That was when it was on the OTC, right? So you didn't know it was going to go to the NASDAQ, at that time. So you just took the money and you ran. Planet 13 done pretty good. So yeah, these are companies that I'd really, really love to have in my portfolio. I mean, I'm not so high on companies such as like Harborside or Indus or Consortium, but I mean, they're decent. I think Harvest Health might start pumping. I'd like to see them get closer to 100 million in revenue a quarter. That's going to be a big punch to say to True Leaf and all these companies, like, we're coming for you. So essentially that's Turning Point Brands. I'm gonna flip it over to Compass Holdings. I think that's loading. So anyways, this is one of my educators. She's a phenomenal US 30 and SPX trader. So I trade with her on 7 a.m. PST. So if you want to join the academy, she crushes it, and she'll teach you how to trust the markets. You literally can just trade with her, and it's also on our app too, where she'll send trade ideas, and then you just set it up and then put it down. And you set your stop loss, you set your take profit, and you can just put in copy and profit. So essentially, yeah, it's a really good system. Yeah, so I also Compass Brands. So yeah, I mean, it's Indices, which is basically trading like the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones, but you can trade it at all hours of the day, and you can use it on leverage. So you'd be like, oh well, the Dow is $29,000, I can't afford that, or the S&P 500 is like $300, I can't afford that. It's like, no, it's not like that. It's basically, the SPX 500 is how we trade it, and it's like 10 times what the SPY is, and you can use leverage up to like 500 times. But I don't recommend it. You got to use proper risk management and all that stuff, and in the academy we teach you that stuff like that. But essentially, you don't need that much money to trade indices. You could trade indices with $500 to $1,000 for S&P 500. Now for like the Dow Jones / US 30 we trade, you want to have about $1,500 to $2,000 minimum to trade it. And but yeah, I wouldn't trade it on your own setups, but I've been trading my own setups with here and there success. I'm going to be one of the top traders for sure. I believe in myself. So again, I had this, CMPS. I've been talking about them on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, you got to follow me on Twitter. We'll go back to the EMAs, put them in. Blue is on when you're on blue, it's on you, right? So I'm in this position, CMPS. This would be your best time to buy, right here. and then, if it crosses to the downside where the red's on top, that's when you need to get out of the position. Unless you like losing money, which I don't think you do. You want to make money in the markets. So, yeah, I mean, it's CMPS doesn't have that many shares outstanding. They're about 1.6 million. What's their quote? So you look at that, back about $35, that would have been the greatest time to enter. And I'm just adding that to my setup as far as trading, and that would have been like an amazing trade. So, yep. CMPS general. So 325,000 shares traded. This is literally the Tilray of mushroom stocks. So I know people are all hyped on Numi and I don't know, all this crap. And like MindMed, which is backed by Bruce Linton and Kevin O'Leary and all that stuff. But this is your Tilray people, the privateer holdings people that are behind this company. So I've been talking about this since like $35, but I just got into it this week, which sucks because I'm paying them more. But I really do truly believe this has potential to go a lot higher because it hasn't even been really like pumped, right? Think about it. 300,000 shares traded. Come on. Like if this was being pumped, there would be 1 million shares traded. There would be, 5 million shares traded. And that's when you're going to see like crazy swings in the market. So it's slow to load. So anyways, that's pretty much what I got to say about CMPS. They're set up with privateer holdings people, so I like them. I like them. How many minutes are we in this? 16 minutes? Okay. So, Tilray. I've busted up a bit of cannabis with this one. I'm just going to have a little bit of coffee. Don't mind me. So, essentially, this is the US 30, right? So, you got all these EMAs, I got a lot of extra stuff because I want more information. I got the 258.14 set up. And, I'm actually part of the academy with Rich TV Live. He actually got 30,000 subscribers last night. So congrats to Rich TV Live on getting 30,000 subscribers. So, good for him. And, he's actually finding a lot of great picks now. And, he's gotten to be a lot better trader and seeing the market a lot better from being in the academy. So if you guys want to join, you can literally get the stock picks before we find trades. We find trade setups. We find trade setups really, really fast in the market. So it's good in that sense. These companies are speculation growth stocks, but I mean some of these stocks like TAT that he's brought to the community have done really good for members. Companies like Very. Companies like K&R might have like rumors of McDonald's partnership, but yeah, I mean it's good. And then like I'm working with Amanda, and she's like a phenomenal trader. Like I can't say the amount of money she's made trading forex, but she's made so much money. And because I put in so much time on the indices, I'm literally like I'm side coaching her as far as like information on indices, because it's not like so straightforward. And I got her into Gold Cup trading with the forex chick. So the forex chick makes like 7 figures a year in trading. So that's why I trade with her, and I trade with Delano Binda. And so yeah, I mean I want to be as good as them in time. Whether it takes 3 years or whatever to be as good, but I'll still be getting really good in time. But we were talking about this trade last night around here. There was 2 times I got in this trade on US 30 last night. So see, this was because Kim Torres has all these great areas of interest, and they're like liquidity buy areas. So right around here, see, every time it wants to buy right there, every time. So literally, like it did a pullback right here, and like she was looking to sell it, But I was like, no, that template's telling me to buy. So I bought it in my demo. I just woke up, so I was like, I don't really not that confident put real money on it. But yeah, I mean, I smashed that pretty good. I don't know. I took it from about 28,000, 29,850 to about 29,885. So on a 0.01, that's like $30. On a 0.1, 10 times that. It just depends your risk. When you have your stop loss or whatever, maybe behind like one of these EMAs, give it a little bit of room for wickage and stuff like that, then that'll kind of that'll be your risk. But you look at like setups like this. I mean, I was sleeping, but there's the blues on top and getting in this trade right around this pullback area, 29,845 area, all the way down, all the way back to this wick area, 30,085. So I was like, yeah, and she didn't took that trade, but we were talking about this trade, so we set it up, and I was like, yeah, 4 hour candles ending. This was a candle, but it started up. When there's a 4 hour candle, it starts like it changes the momentum, right? So there'd be a lot of liquidity. But then all of a sudden it just pushed down. So it wasn't a bullish candle, but the first hour was. The first hour went here. So we set it up, and she crushed it. And, I give her intel because I've spent a lot more hours on the charts with the US 30 and indices like S&P 500, SPX 500. So she's going to be such an amazing trader. So if you want to be able to be on live Zooms with Amanda from Indonesia and trade with her, then you want to join the academy with me. So essentially this is like serious stuff. We're just getting started, right? But she's literally, what she does, she's making so much money right now. She doesn't have time to figure out the stock picks and stuff like that. So she just kind of follows what Rich is doing for trades, for stocks and stuff like that. What are good picks? Like she got into Pfizer around I don't know, $36-$37 or something like that, and now it went to $41, right? So, but not to mention Pfizer has a dividend, so no worries on that. And then there's other stock picks, like K&R and all these other companies like Very that she's put money into, and she's made a lot of money doing that. And she does not put in all that time, but she trades at during the London session, which is at nighttime, and the New York session, a little bit of the New York session, and Sydney. She trades it all, but for currencies, she was just trading the London session and the New York, a little bit of the New York. But she crushes it. She's literally like the Danica Patrick of Forex. She's literally the Danica Patrick. Because this is razor thin as far as trading. You need to put stop losses and stuff. She just started a $200 account, and now she's up a lot on US 30 on a 0.01. And it costs about $150 to do margin. So you only have $50 in stop loss protection area, or else you're gonna get your trade called in, where you won't be able to trade that anymore. She literally, and she's succeeding at that. That's how good of a trader. She's the Danica Patrick of Forex, and I'm trading with her. So one of these days I'll be I don't know what's a comparison. I'll be the Kobe Bryant. I'll be the Kobe Bryant of Forex, or I'll be the Reggie Miller of Forex, just shooting 3-pointers, or I'll be the Shaquille O'Neal, just slam dunking, something like that. But no, I've given her a lot of intel, and now she's gonna be crushing this, and she's got a big account. So when she's doing lives, she'll put it in her live essentially, and she'll be doing like a 0.1, and if you're doing 100 points in a day, that's 1K, but she'll do a lot bigger than that. At times, I'm sure literally Kim probably does two lot size, which is 200 of these. So if she's getting a $70 move, she's making 14K in one day. So that's why I'm trading with these people. Have I made that success? No, but it's only time, because I'm like determined to make my life better for myself. So I got the time to make myself a super duper success. So if you want to be part of the journey and on becoming a success in the markets and learning from the best world-class traders, and you don't need to know all the stuff. Like, I'll try to show you if I can. Oh, I'm out of battery, so I can't. But there's a Gold Cup app. There's a Gold Cup. I putting out videos there. Putting out videos. So follow me there, and follow me on Twitter. And if you're interested, I'll leave my email so you can get a hold of me, and I'll join the academy. So I'm also part of Swipecoin too, so they're doing crypto too. So it's not just gold or I'm logged in on somewhere else, so I can't be logged in here. Let's see if I can log into Swipecoin. So they called a buy on Bitcoin at, let's go to Bitcoin at about 19,200. See what this CoinDesk says. $19,400. So it's up 200 points. So if you just had, one Bitcoin trading, the spreads on different brokers are about 20 to $40. So based on that trade, let's look how high it's been in the last. Yeah, so they bought it about here, or no, before. Anyways, 19,200 they got into it. Let's see. This is different than my broker, so it's not 100% accurate. But anyways, they basically bought it 19,200, because these are different than what we're trading. We're trading CFDs, contract future something, and it was 19,200, and now it's probably like 19,400. So that's like 200 points, and they had a trade that was I don't know, like 16,700. And then it went to like 19,000. So they've been making people money. They have a scalper alert, which is kind of like it's a little more finicky, but the smooth trades, like they're pretty accurate on XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. I mean, 80% accurate or higher, or they wouldn't be allowed to trade in the academy. So they're making people money, and I just joined it. I don't have a good broker yet for Bitcoin, but I do like one broker. I can trade with Hugo's Way, and it's a little bit of bigger spread. My broker, I can trade with it as well, but I don't. It's got a tighter spread. It uses up a lot of margin. So if I'm gonna trade US30, I don't really want to use too much margin, but I also don't want to trade too many things at once too. I want to trade like US30 or Bitcoin only. So I think the 0.1 for my broker, it's not that big. I think it's like 1/10 of a Bitcoin. So if it's gonna go up 200 points, you'll make $20 on it. And then if you had like a 1.0, you'd make $200 or so. It just depends how big your account is realistically. But like Ethereum makes good moves on the weekend. Hugo's Ways has good spread, so I can trade Ethereum on my other broker on the weekend, and that's a good trade setup. So essentially there's like, we got it all covered, whether you're interested in crypto, whether you're interested in gold, whether you're interested in currencies, whether you're interested in stocks. There's even ECX. I'm not sure when the program is, because I think they launched the class, I guess, so it's just like one class. So they launched it, I don't know, like 3 weeks ago maybe. So that's for like drop shipping. So there's drop shipping in my academy, and there's it's all different languages too. So I mean, people want to learn, people want to trade. There's a lady that trades stocks, and she sets like target prices, and she's like super good, and she speaks Spanish, but I mean, she has 50,000 people that follow her on her Pip Talk. So I mean, she's got to be good. And yeah, I mean, there's just it's a great academy. You know, there's basically, the biggest thing I like is, you know, the Forex Chick. That's why I'm with this academy, and I like Long Money Luke, because these guys are really good traders. We got at what was it? I think it was like GBP JPY maybe. It was like 100 pips. So this is one of my educators. I trade with him 5 a.m. on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. So that's pretty much a wrap. If you're interested, you know, this is going to be, you know, we're just getting started, but the world's changing, right? The world's changing. They not going to make it as easy for people to make a living, you know? They're not going to make it as easy. They want people to wear masks wherever you go. You don't want to get into you don't want to hear my opinion on it, but it's not good. So yeah, I like what we're doing with the academy, and you know, you can trade, you know, whether you want to trade US 30, you want to trade gold, you want to trade currencies. I mean, you want to trade with Amanda. If you want to be a great trader, you want to trade with Amanda, because she's like the best at price trap. Like we learned price trap in the academy. So when, you know, when it comes back, you know, you sell it, you put resistance points like all over. So essentially things are just getting started. Things are just getting started, and I'm pretty much like, I'm like the wheelhouse as far as getting everything started, because I mean, like, before the academy, like, Rich and the people, they weren't talking about really gold. They weren't talking about indices. They weren't talking about like crypto. Like now, like, you know, I mean, they were talking about it, but as far as trading it with like an MT4, this is an MT4 account, they weren't doing it. So I just like, because I'm like, yo, this is legit stuff. Like, this is legit stuff. I knew that the Forex Chick knew what was going down with indices and stuff like that. So I'm like, yo, this is what I'm about, because instead of trading like currencies might take, you know, 4-7 hours for a trade to take place, you can trade indices, and sometimes the trade will just hit your target within like 2 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe like an hour and 30 minutes. But after that, I mean, it's, you know, you probably don't even want to be in the trade, because you'll be in drawdown or something like that. If the trade's not working for you, you might just want to get out of the trade. But these trades are very fast, and so you don't have to spend hours and hours and hours on the charts. Not to mention, we got educators that trade HRX, where it's like binary options. So it's like options for stocks, but like, say like they'll look at this and they'll be like, they'll do like a 1 minute chart, and they'll be like, okay, right here, they'll be like, okay, I'm taking it for a sell right here, and they'll have like 1 minute, and it needs to be below here, and then when they win, then they get, you know, 70 or 80 cents on the dollar. So they risk $1, they get 70 or 80 cents. And Millie Mills is really, really good. Like, I don't know, she probably wins like 80% or higher or something like that. So it works out really good when you're winning 80%. Like, okay, so 80 cents is 80 cents times 8 is like 560 or 640, and then those two trades where you got to give back like $2, oh, you got to give back, so you made 440, right? So that's what you got to think about, like, when you're risking money, how much are you getting back. That's why, like Luke Longmire, we trade like we're risking maybe, $15 to make $30, $30 to make $60, or $30 to make $90, or $30 to make $120. So that way you're not putting too much risk on the table, but your rewards can be really good. And we get trade setups. So again, I think if you're unsure what you're doing with your trading and you want some professional help, I think you need to get into contact with me and start out on your journey of working towards becoming a professional trader. So with that said, I went through Turning Point brands. I didn't go into like super in depth with them, but I may do that another time if I get enough likes. If I get, let's say, if I get 20 likes, I'll make out a full investor presentation on Turning Point brands, and then potentially maybe with Compass Pathways as well. So those are companies that I like, and so keep compounding your info. Listen to my lingo. Shaka Cup.